We'd like to call the meeting to order, please. We'd like to welcome everybody to the Norwood City School Board of Education meeting. It's April 18th, 2019. The Norwood City School Board follows a bi-monthly meeting schedule. The first meeting of the month is called our committee meeting, and at this meeting we discuss fully our agenda for the board meeting to be held the third Thursday of each month. The board members, we encourage you to attend, watch, and listen to our committee meetings, discussions resulting in the action of the board. For full disclosure, our committee meeting and board meetings are all video, audio taped, as well as posted on our web page for your viewing. All of our meetings are public and visitors are welcome.
Nominate someone.
Julie, you could...
I'll do that under agenda. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Mr. Bryant.
Here.
Mr. Faulkner. Mr. Atwood.
Yeah.
Mr. Atwood.
Present.
Ms. Ballard.
Here.
Mrs. Orza.
Present.
This time we'd like to have the silhouettes come up to do the national anthem. And then after they perform, if everybody could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I think we should go ahead and stand.
Just go ahead and stand.
Stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting mid-air, gave proof
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I feel like we could skip that today.
That was a treat. Real treat. Just love it. Awesome. Awesome. Love that.
He's done such a good job.
What a way to start a meeting. Can you be here every time?
It makes me proud to have been a silhouette. Absolutely. And to have seen that kid win, I'm going to have a picture of him as a teacher.
Front row seat.
I dated his best friend. I did.
Okay, next item would be 1.05, which would be the adoption of the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the agenda as written.
I'll second.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Ms. Zorza?
Yes.
Next item would be 1.06, 7, and 8. 6 would be the approval of the minutes for March 2019 special board meeting. 107 would be the approval for the minutes for March 21st, regular board meeting. And 108 would be the approval of the minutes for April 9th, 2019 committee meeting.
I'll motion.
Okay, we got a motion by Amber,
Second?
second by Ms. Horza.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Zorza?
Yes.
Next would be presentations. Dr. Sabo.
Well, good evening, everyone. It is so wonderful to see you here. I can't think of a better way to start a meeting. Wasn't that fabulous? Our very own silhouettes, long tradition of excellence. We have a few other really wonderful surprises for you. As you know, here in Norwood, lots of great things are happening. So we want to start with recognizing our silhouettes, and to introduce them and their leader, we have our high school principal, Mr. Winterrod.
Thank you very much. So the first person I'd like to introduce is Director Mr. Adam Robinson. Mr. Robinson is a Norwood graduate. He leads this group, and he is going to say a few words about them. So the rest of the silhouettes, if you want to come up here so everybody can see you. One more time. So,
Adam, do you want a mic? No. Okay.
Okay, well, it is our honor and privilege to be here before you, sharing the gift of song. It is my honor and privilege to share that craft with these youngsters here. Those standing before you represent some of the finest singers that we have here in Norwood. I pulled for this group as far back as 6th grade. We've had some kids come and run lights and sound for us. In our middle school prep group, the Sensations. And that goes from 6th grade all the way up to seniors. We've got a couple seniors up here as well. And it's just been an awesome journey. Some of these guys I've had since they were in 7th and 8th grade, seeing them come into bearded men. And we really had a whirlwind of a season this year. We consistently placed in the top 3, and then we broke our own personal record going to finals in Fairfield, which is a big deal for us. It's kind of a big deal in the show choir world. So let's give them a hand for that. We don't just do the classical standard repertoire as well. We cut loose, we sing, we dance, we have costumes. And if any of that sounds interesting, May 7th, we're going to do a full choral program-wide concert with 150 singers. And then May 9th, we're going to do a whole different show that we call Dinner Theater. Tickets are on sale. That's $12, and you can see that from any of our students. That's RSVP, that's what we'll call. Come on in, eat dinner with us. We'll feed you, we'll seat you, and we'll treat you like royalty, show you some of our music. And those proceeds go to benefit us for the next year, so we can keep on competing and keep representing Norwood in the best capacity that we know how. Thank you.
So if you're a 6th grader going into 7th grade, you too could be part of the Sensations. Long tradition here in Norwood, and we're just so very proud of them. In fact, this week I had lunch with the senior citizens at this community center, and one of them was talking about the very first teacher that she had that she believed started the Silhouettes, and she was just so very, very proud. So we're going to move things around if it's all right, and we're going to hear from Sharpsburg Primary, and they're under the leadership of a fantastic elementary principal, Mr. Westendorf. Mr. Westendorf, would you come forward and say a few things? He's brought his own children here tonight. I will say, while they're getting set up, we are so looking forward to the reconstruction at Sharpsburg Primary and Elementary. This week, our team met with Century Construction, which is the construction company that won the bid, and we're confident they're going to do a fantastic job. I know that our elementary students and teachers are very excited about getting air conditioning. And so that is just one of the many updates that we'll be doing at the primary first and then moving over to the elementary. Mr. Westendorf?
Oh, well, apparently reading an agenda is not my specialty, but the second grade group here, we have a lot of students here, that's great. Mrs. Shore, how many years have you been doing this poetry now?
17.
17. Mrs. Short, throughout the year, and Miss Weinheimer, they go through all these poems, little things, different subjects, different classes, and throughout the year it becomes a big event. Students know most of these poems already. There wasn't, I don't want to say there wasn't a lot of practice, there was. But this is a small preview of what their show will be coming up in May.
We call it Taste.
Taste of poetry. So before we get started, Mrs. Shore, thank you. This is great every year. Miss Weinheimer, thank you so much for your support in making it happen. And parents and families, thank you for being here. And students.
Guys ready? Yeah. You know, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, let's just make sure we You together? All right, you guys ready? All right. Okay. All right, Miss Madison and Michael, whenever you're ready, you go for it.
Welcome to National Poetry Month. We're thrilled that you can be here with us tonight. We will be reading some of our favorite poems. Reading poetry is one way that has helped us improve our reading fluency this year in second grade. What's reading fluency? Well, fluency is reading that sounds like talking. You know, with the expression instead of sounding like a slow, talky robot. Yeah, instead of style. You need a style. Thank you very much. Enjoy our poetry.
don't know how we just say see you later alligator anymore. There's a whole lot more to learn. What power in poetry, second graders. We are so very proud not only of your performance, but of your ability to memorize. There was a lot there. Congratulations. Wow. And I understand you're performing for the senior citizens in a few weeks.
We are.
All right, they'll want the full show. I'm sure of it.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. We're thrilled you're here. Isn't that fantastic? Give them a round of applause. You know, these are great students because of great teachers, but before that, they come from great families. So moms, dads, aunts, uncles, brothers, and sisters, even friends, you all count in making us great. So thank you very much. That was fun. I see a few silhouettes in that group. Next we have Mr. Winterrod to recognize our high school drama team. And the bar is high.
Yes. So at this time, would Mrs. Martin and the theater come down, please? I've had the pleasure of seeing many plays and musicals at Norwood High School, and this might have been my favorite, simply because I was absolutely awed by these small group of students who played. Sometimes, Liz, where are you, up to 10 parts? Yes? No? Yes? How many parts did you have? 14. Wow. And she's not the only one. So this small group put on one of the best shows that I have ever seen, and we wanted to recognize them and tell them thank you for all of the hard work that you put in to make the show great, and to Mrs. Martin as well for all the hard work that you and Pat put in as well to make this happen.
Mrs. Martin, can they do the first 10 minutes of the show? I'm just kidding.
So this spring we took on Baskerville, we took the show on Home Story, and 5 actors. Not a lot of people do this show, in part because it's relatively new, which is exciting, but also in part because it's incredibly challenging. 5 actors taking on 38 roles. So if you can imagine the incredible amount of lines that they had to memorize, impossibly fast costume changes, an endless store of energy to sustain this for, you know, a 2-hour show. So we were very, very happy and very proud of them and happy to recognize them tonight. I'd like to introduce Pat Hodson, who is on the end there. She is the director of our shows here, has been for about the last 7 or 8 years, maybe. You might recognize her. She is a Norwood alum. Back in the day, you know, Patty Ryan, who was the star of many shows in the 1970s.
Oh, Dolly.
Late, very
I remember it.
That helps, thank you. She went on to study acting, study dance, moved to New York, and when she came back with her family, we were lucky enough to recruit her for the directing position. She's incredibly talented, and we're very lucky to have her. So Pat will just introduce each of the kids involved in the production.
Sure. Is Henry Mattingly. He played Watson. He only played one role, but he was on stage the entire time, so that counts.
Wow.
This is Liz. Why don't you guys just introduce yourselves? Go. That's easy. Liz. You're here. Come on, you can do this. I'm like somebody else.
That means we need lines.
Which one? Liz plays 13 different roles and about as many different accents. Wow. So she had Irish, Scottish, proper English, Cockney, somewhere in between Midlands. She did it all, and she did it very, very well. She's not going to say anything, so that's
That's funny.
This is Lily Rose. She was our assistant director. She was my right hand and my left hand. We're really great to have her. And Isaac, she was doing fast changes, helping actors with fast changes. And some of them were like 10 to 15 second turnarounds. So with wigs and facial hair and full costume changes. So they kicked it out of the park. Let me tell you, down there is Hazel, last name's gone. Hazel, she played Sherlock Holmes. And she only had one part, but she was pretty much on stage most of the time too. And then down there at the very end is Ian Davis. He played, I think, 13 different roles, 12 different roles. Again, different accents, Scottish, English.
And a freshman baby of the production.
So he stepped in and took it over for someone who did a great job. Last but not least, not here, is Jaden. And Jaden played about 5 or 6 roles, is that right? Mostly he played a Texan, and he did it very, very well. But he also had a Cockney accent and a standard British accent. They all learned these accents just for the show. They did it in less than 8 weeks. Pretty much less than that because I wanted the dialect really soon. They had to learn their lines in their dialects. So they learned the dialect as well as their lines as they learned their lines. So, give them a
Well, thank you. Thank you for your dedication, all of you. We appreciate that. As you know, lots of schools don't have beautiful auditoriums, and we do here in Norwood, and we use them. And for a long time, we've had musicals and plays, and this year was a play, and we're just so proud. You know, it makes me think when I was a young girl here, actually my oldest brother, that was one thing he did. He always took me to our plays and our musicals. And I remember the ones that Mrs. Hobson was in, actually. I do remember them. Fondly, I really do. They left a huge impression on me. So we have another group to leave a huge impression on you, and that is Mr. Miller, our middle school principal. He'd like to share with you some amazing things happening at the middle school.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, board president, members of the board, and Superintendent Dr. Kathy Sabo. It is my great pleasure and honor to introduce one of our most dynamic and impactful teachers, Miss Layla Kabesh. Miss Kabesh, do you mind coming down and joining me? I know you have a whole slew of students that are coming here with you tonight, but we'll get to them in a moment. Miss Kabesh is so much more than an ELL teacher at Norwood Middle School. She's a Spanish teacher, a yoga instructor, a mentor, a leader in our community, a trusted colleague, a volunteer, a parent, and so very, very much more, as her students well understand. In 2018, Ms. Kabesh was a Fuel the Fire entrant on behalf of our school to pitching the idea of a TV talk show called Youth Voices of Greater Cincinnati, enabling middle school age youth to host a talk show with guest members from our community. Her students had expressed to her that they were not heard and they wanted their own voice. A very common sentiment for students and kids around this country of that age. This program seemed to answer that need by connecting students with their community, gaining understanding through dialogue. Not only did Ms. Kabesh win this pitch, but this idea became a reality and has gone on to garner much attention locally and also across the state. So what she and her students have done, quite simply, is nothing short of impressive. And with that, Ms. Kabesh, we would love to hear more from you and your students about this very worthy project. So the students that have come here tonight with Ms. Kabesh, please join her, if you would. Ms. Kabesh. Did you have a few words? Yep.
All my students in my 5th bell and 7th bell, and we found out about this last night. So I came back to school last night, and I called everyone, but unfortunately some of them could not make it tonight. But we have about 30 students who participated in the program. Talk shows have included inviting guest speakers who are Buddhist monks, who are Jewish rabbi. We had a Muslim community leader. We had an attorney, we had a judge, we had just a long list. One night I called my superintendent and I says, I really hope I have a job tomorrow, because we just had a talk show that lasted 2 hours with the LGBT community, and I don't know how this community feels about that. And she says, well, I hope you do have a job tomorrow. It was an amazing program, and the cool part is nobody succeeds alone. I want to say a special thanks to the Norwood Community Television, because when we had a site visit by the grant, they have organized and cleared the place. 2 days ago, we had my 7th graders who were studying about Pearl Harbor. I teach a Japanese class, and they were learning about the difference between Japanese and Japanese Americans. And Mr. Meyer and Steve, the whole team came on a day that they were not working. They came early in the morning, and they set up the entire technology for the first time, so my students would have a long-distance televised talk with a person who survived the internment experience, and she was calling us from Hawaii, and everything worked seamlessly. And I felt like it was final week exams that would never end, because normally we were doing this for the first time, but I had a film crew from Washington, D.C. that came for 2 days to follow me. And I really didn't want to do this, but it was an award for the 2000, it was some award that I can't remember what it is at this moment. But these are my students, and I'm so proud of them, and I thank the entire community. I know when I walk into the school every single morning, I feel like I'm the richest person that I know, and that's because of the rich spirit of the Norwood community for allowing me to come to their homes. I visit the homes of my students, and for my colleagues, for Dr. Sabo, who would come at a last minute to help me with a grant, or Mr. Stacy, I want to say special thank you. I would ask him for a letter of recommendation for a grant, and he goes, when do you need this by? And I says, would this afternoon be too fast? And he would get it done. And it's not because I don't do things at the last minute. It's just that sometimes I get an email and I find out about it at the last minute, or also because I have other things that I'm working on, and he will get it done. And because of Mr. Stacy, we won all the grant to have a studio with all the yoga props. We won another grant to have books for our library. Dollar General, we got a lot of money. We got money for that, and we have other opportunities. So I special thank you to all my administrators. And like I say, nobody succeeds alone, and I'm very grateful for everyone, the parents, my students, and the administrators. Thank you.
Mrs. Kabesh, I think we're going to have you stay right here. Students really, truly, we're just so proud of the work you did. If you don't know, we have a media studio, a television studio here in this building. How many school districts do you know have one of those? And Mrs. Kabesh has just really seized the opportunity for our students, and our students have seized it as well and just made it into something amazing. We're just so proud of the work of all of you. You make us proud. And I'm so glad for all that you've gotten out of it. Now, the reason they're not being recognized next month is because some of them are going to be in Washington, D.C. That's why we had to hustle and make this happen tonight. So congratulations to you.
Ms. Kabesh, we wanted you to stay up here so that we could recognize you for an award. As you can see, Ms. Kabesh is a very humble person. She's not going to gloat on herself. I get to do that for her. She mentioned a film crew that was in our school this week. This is a film crew that was in the building from NEA, interviewing students, staff members.
That's the National Education Association.
That's correct. So this was a big deal. Ms. Kabesh was recently recognized as a recipient of the National Education Association's Reg Weaver Human and Civil Rights Award for 2019. This is a very, very prestigious award. It's given in honor of Reg Weaver, a former NEA president. The NEA presents this award to a nominee whose activities around closing poverty gaps for children in America and around the world have made a significant impact in helping poor students and eliminating the negative impact of poverty. To be eligible, the nominees must meet the following criteria. And I want to read a few of these. 1, inspire public engagement and elimination of poverty, work actively to improve economic opportunities for all people, promote public policy that positively affects economic health and welfare for families, work in partnership with other agencies and groups to give a voice to those marginalized by poverty, help schools develop programs that enhance the education, social, and emotional health of children in economically depressed areas or areas of high concentration of poverty. Ms. Kubesh certainly meets most, if not all, of these criteria. Without a doubt, she does. This embodies the person that she is. But I would like to share with you, as she mentioned, a few. The list goes on of the things that she has done and has brought to this community and to our students. So I really want to take the time to recognize her. Ms. Kubesh was instrumental in the reception of the Ohio Education Association Media for Public Service Award of 2019. This award was bestowed on the TV program that we've just learned about here this evening. It was a platform for our middle school students to have a voice and visibility as they interviewed diverse community members about topics that impact them. As we discussed before, Ms. Kubesh won this Fuel the Fire pitch for the TV program itself back in 2018. Also in 2018, the Underground Railroad Freedom Center hosted a large display exhibit created by her 7th grade students. She was a Fund for Teacher 2018 recipient of a fellowship to pursue professional development to acquire new skills in mental and physical well-being for the youth of Norwood Middle School. Ms. Kubesh studied cognitive behavioral therapy at Beck Institute, and on her own time, I might add. These are all things that she does outside of the school day, above and beyond. No one's asking her to do these things. She does them for our students and for our community. She attended a 3-day teacher in-service on art, craft, structure of Moth-style storytelling at the Moth Teacher Institute. I'm not sure I even know what that is. But I know it's good for our kids. Ms. Kubesh is a recipient of a grant from the Martha Holden Jennings Foundation 2019, this year. The grant provided over $12,000 to bring video production technology to the middle school students and to pay for upgrades in technology and for training. She was an NEA in the Hunger Program Fellow. With this fellowship, Ms. Kubesh worked with the NEA, school and district administrators, and most importantly, her students who wanted to initiate breakfast in the classroom. She was also awarded, as she mentioned before, a $3,000 grant through the Dollar General Literacy Foundation, which she used those funds to purchase multicultural high-interest books for 7th and 8th grade students for our middle school library. She was also awarded the Technology Teaching Tolerant Grant, When Nobody Listens, Tell the World, From Page to Stage, on behalf of Norwood City Schools, winning $10,000 to train students on how to use speaking and visual and performing arts. The project included installing a display called the Dream Project, hosted by the Freedom Center. She currently provides a 7th grade curriculum that promotes global competence through hands-on activities, literacy, and community connections. This is our cultural explorations, which when we approached Ms. Kubesh about doing this last fall, she readily did it with no problems. She was eager to step forward to provide these types of experiences to our students. She initiated a parent academy intended to increase student achievement, cultivate parent leadership skills, to advocate or serve as volunteers, and to encourage personal growth. Quite honestly, this list is not exhaustive. It could go on and on and on and on. But these are really just the highlights of all the great things that Ms. Kubesh does for our school, our students, and our community. I'm not quite sure, Ms. Kubesh, how you find the time to sleep, but I'm glad that you get it all in. So really, at this time, I would ask, please join me in recognizing again and congratulating Ms. Kubesh on being the 2019 NEA Reg Weaver Human and Civil Rights Award winner. Well done.
Thank you, Mrs. Kabesh. We appreciate you. You are certainly a fantastic individual and you make Norwood great, so thank you. Many of you are here, I know, because you have a rising star. And you've been waiting a long time. You didn't know you were going to get treated to all those treats, but we're excited to hear your story. So what will happen is Mr. Miller was going to share what your teacher has written about you. You're going to come up and stand right here down on the carpet, just like the silhouettes did and the kids that you just saw. But before you do that, you're going to get a certificate over here from our Board of Education President, Mr. Bryant. And then moms, dads, family, you'll get a chance to, of course, take photos in here as well as out in our main lobby. Ms. Haviland will be out there to capture some great family moments for you after the certificates and the stories are read. So let's get this started, Mr. Miller.
Excellent. We'll start with the high school.
Okay.
Norwood High School's Rising Star students for April are Damir Rogers and Riley Molden. Norwood High School would like to nominate Damir Rogers for a Norwood Rising Star. In class, Damir presents himself as a model student. He participates, is polite, and helps classmates who do not always understand concepts. Damir always shows respect towards his teachers and peers and is highly respected himself. Just recently, Damir was nominated by his classmates to be a member of the Hope Squad, a peer mentoring group that focuses on mental health. This nomination proves that Damir has true character. He is modest and simply sees his positive actions as doing the right thing. Damir is truly a rising star, and he helps make Norwood High School a great place. Riley Molden exemplifies a rising star because she is a solid academic student, participates in activities outside of class, and volunteers to help others. Riley has worked hard maintaining good grades while playing basketball and softball. She helps her classmates in class with assignments when they need it and has volunteered for 2 months to help a fellow student on crutches to and from his classes. I've witnessed this. I've seen it. She is a spirited young woman who accepts challenges and wants to do her best. She is a pleasure to have in class. Riley is without a doubt a rising star, and she makes Norwood High School a great place to learn. Norwood Middle School Rising Star students for April are Kevin Dang and Vanessa Brewer. Kevin, I want to tell you, I'm glad because I was trying to get a hold of you, and I saw you today on the playground and talked to you, and I was like, oh, I needed to make sure he was coming. So I'm glad you made it. So Norwood Middle School would like to nominate Kevin Dang as the 7th grade Rising Star of the Month for April. Kevin has shown great academic progress while at Norwood Middle, where he maintains honor roll grades. He is currently enrolled in a variety of classes ranging from strings to honors English language arts. Just recently, he learned how to play the violin. Kevin's plans for his 8th grade year are to continue to challenge himself with high school courses in the areas of Spanish and mathematics. Kevin's successes are not limited to the classroom. Kevin recently broke a new personal record in the mile, 6 minutes and 48 seconds. Kevin's goal is to become a better leader not only on the sports teams in which he participates with, but in the Norwood community as well. Kevin embodies what it means to be a Norwood Indian. All of these reasons are why we believe he is and will be a rising star. Students like Kevin Dang make Norwood City Schools great. Norwood Middle School has also nominated Vanessa Brewer as the 8th grade Rising Star of the Month for April. Vanessa Brewer is a responsible and motivated 8th grader achieving honor roll in all of her academics. She is a well-rounded student who takes advanced math and is involved in many activities outside of school. In the classroom, Vanessa is a hard worker and is a natural student leader. She is always helpful to her teachers and classmates. Vanessa is also very creative and loves to draw and write. She especially is talented at sketching from memory and visual sight. She has played the violin for 2 years and is currently learning to play the piano. Vanessa plays softball here in Norwood and plans to play for the high school team next year. Her favorite position is shortstop, but sometimes she plays catcher. After high school, Vanessa plans to attend UC or NKU for mathematics. She is a great asset to Norwood Middle School. We are excited to see what the future holds for her. Students like Vanessa Brewer make Norwood City Schools great. Sharpsburg Elementary and Primary Schools Rising Star students for April are Sonny James and Evan Hervasio. The Sharpsburg teachers are proud to nominate Sonny James as the Rising Star this month. Sonny, just as her name suggests, is a bright light in first grade. Sonny is a very eager and enthusiastic learner with a growth mindset. She puts forth her best effort in all that she does throughout the day. Sonny is an avid learner and seeks out ways to learn outside the classroom and school day. When asked to help, Sonny is a team player and shows initiative to help others during class by encouraging them to be a positive role model. Sonny enjoys learning, and the first grade teachers adore her. They are so thankful to have worked with her this year and are excited to continue to grow with her. Students like Sonny make Norwood City Schools great. The first grade teachers are proud to announce Evan Hervasio as the Rising Star. Evan comes into school daily with a bright smile and a light that shines from within. Evan begins each day with a helpful spirit by getting the classroom ready for the day. He is prepared for class and works diligently each day. Evan is a model for others, as he can be found to persevere in his learning and is eager to learn new things. Evan is honest and trustworthy, and he can be counted on to do the right thing. Due to these numerous reasons, we are honored to have Evan as our Rising Star. And we are grateful, to be learning and growing with him every day. And we know that Evan will be a star for the rest of his life. Students like Evan make Norwood City Schools great. It is really so nice to read all these awesome things about our students, so bear with me. Norwood View Elementary School's Rising Star students for April are Brianna Garcia and Emery Schott. The third grade teachers at Norwood View have chosen Brianna Garcia as the Rising Star for April. Brianna has been at Norwood View since kindergarten. All of Brianna's current and past teachers describe her as kind and genuine. She is always going beyond what is being asked, and she is willing to help her classmates and the staff at View. Recently, Brianna has been tremendous, helping bridging the language barrier between two new Spanish-speaking third graders and their classmates. Brianna is eager to help others, and it shows in how welcoming she has been to new students. She continues to make sure these students feel welcome. Brianna is also a great academic role model. She's always giving 100% and is willing to ask for clarification when needed. The third grade teachers feel extremely lucky to have Brianna in their classes. They know she will continue to work hard and be successful for many years to come. Students like Brianna make Norwood City Schools great. Emery Schott is a Norwood View Rising Star student for the month of April. Emery is a wonderful student in her kindergarten class. She is a leader in the classroom and consistently participates in class activities. Additionally, she always tries to work above the assigned task. Emery is an exemplary student whose considerate manners and happy, friendly demeanor have earned her many friends among her peers and teachers. Emery continues to grow her academic skills this year, including mastering all the 75 sight words. Way to go. She would like to be a dentist when she grows up so she can give kids snacks.
Awesome.
When asked what she likes to do in school, Emery responded, "Do work, be nice, and have fun." That is a great description of Emery. We are so fortunate to have her as a student in Norwood View. Students like Emery make Norwood City Schools great. And finally, Williams Avenue Elementary School Rising Star students for April are Natalie Zlapik and Leanna Butler. The second grade Rising Star is Natalie Zlapik. She absolutely loves Williams Avenue Elementary and loves coming to school every day. Her favorite subject in school are writing and math, and she excels in both. She likes to write narratives about her weekends and holiday breaks. Her enthusiasm for writing spreads to our students and makes everyone around her better. When she grows up, she wants to be a teacher and write children's literature. Natalie is a prime example of what it means to be a champ student and a peace builder. Congratulations, Natalie. You are what makes Norwood City School District great. The fourth grade team is privileged to have chosen Leanna Butler as our rising star for the month of April. Leanna has shown tremendous growth this year. She consistently works hard to complete tasks with accuracy and efficiency. She is eager to help others and is well liked by her peers. Leanna helps each of her teachers with any item they need and is the first to volunteer. She demonstrates what it means to be a champ student as well as a peace builder on a daily basis. Her smile and positive attitude is contagious. Her motivation to do well is inspiring to others. When she gets older, she wants to be a marine biologist. Congratulations to Leanna Butler. You are what makes Norwood City Schools great.
Okay, stay right there, Rising Stars. Our board members want to shake your hand. And then, of course, we have to get a photo in here of the entire group. Riley, did we win? Oh, okay. Families, we just want to thank you for coming and being here to celebrate them. We are so proud of them, and we're so grateful for all the work you do at home to support them and to support our work. So thank you. Okay, we need help with that line, Mrs. Chesson. This is Mrs. Chesson, our Director of Curriculum, also our formal line leader.
You're going to smile just like big smiles with your fingers up. There you go. Perfect.
And families, just so you know, our entire meeting is on YouTube, so you can capture it again there in case you didn't get video of someone getting their certificate.
Let me get one more. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. All right.
So follow Mrs. Haviland in the red sweater out into the main lobby, and she'll take more family photos for you as well. Congratulations. Mr. President, this concludes our presentations.
All right.
Ready.
Let's see, next item would be the Education Committee report. Ms. Bauer?
Thank you, Mr. President. First up is 3.01, approval of field trips. We have 2 that are set for next school year, so fundraising can begin for our marching band and orchestra, led by Pat Bauer and Allison Marshall. We discussed those last week. 3.02 are elementary parent-teacher conference dates, which are listed there for you in November of this fall and February of the following year. 3.03 is a little bit more detailed. That is our OHSAA membership for next school year. The actual contract is on the next page, but we discussed that last week as well. I would like to motion for approval on 3.1 through 3.3.
Okay, we have a motion. Can we have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Ms. Bauer?
Yes.
Mrs. Orza?
Yes.
Let's see, next on the agenda would be personnel.
Thank you, Mr. President and the board. I would like to recommend 4.01 under resignations and retirements, and 4.02 under employment, which is non-renewal of educational aides and student assistant aides.
I'll motion.
Okay, we got a motion by Ms. Bauer. Can we have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Orza.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Abstain.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Warza?
Yes.
Mr. President, I'd further like to recommend on number 2, non-renewal for Avenues for Success, number 3, classified subs, number 4, summer school, number 5, additional hours, number 6, renewal for construction supervisor consultant, number 7, extended days, number 8, supplemental contracts, number 9, a correction to March 21st, 2019 agenda, and you'll notice a change in date, and number 10, pupil activity contract.
I'll motion.
I will second.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Warza?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see, next would be policy. Mr. Ratliff.
Thank you, Mr. President. So we have the second reading and approval of the policies listed in the agenda. Those are the qualifications and duties of the treasurer, administration of federal grant funds, bonded employees and officers, interscholastic extracurricular eligibility, student absences and excuses, student attendance accounting, use of electronic communication equipment by students, student suspension, and reporting child abuse and mandatory training. All of these policies have had some minor changes to them and are in need of being updated. We've discussed those. They've had the first reading last month. This is the second reading, and upon approval, we'll go ahead and adopt those. So I would like to make a motion to have the second reading and approval of the list of policies.
Okay. We
I'll
got a
second.
motion. Need a second?
I'll second.
Second by Ms. Bauer.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Warza?
Yes.
Let's see, next on the item would be use of facilities. I do have one item on there for the use of facilities for the Norwood Police Department, police candidates. Then we use Shea Stadium, track field, locker rooms on April 27th, and they have a rain date of the 28th from 6 to 6. I'd like to make a motion for approval for the use of facilities.
I'll second.
Second by Val. Ms. Warza?
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Warza?
Yes.
Next on the item is Finance Committee report. Julie, Scott's not here, so do you mind filling us in there?
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Mr. President. 7.01 is our financial reports. The financials from the end of March are attached for your review, as well as the middle school change order listing and my treasurer's report. 7.02 is the appropriation resolution, 412 agreement, which is just our budget for the year. 7.03, we have some very nice donations from Norwood Ready Kids.
Yes, we have.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes, it's wonderful, isn't it? Those three we'll put together in one motion, please.
I'll motion.
I will second.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Warza?
Yes.
Finally, 7.04, board member professional learning. It's on the agenda for your discussion and approval.
I'll motion.
Okay, we got a motion by Amber.
I will second.
Mr. Bryant?
No.
Mr. Atwood?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Warza?
No.
We have a tie.
We have a tie.
How does that work?
And I have a deadline.
It just goes in as a tie. Unless we push it into the next meeting.
Well,
But at that point, it's beyond
It's
the
too
point.
late, so we just go in as a tie.
May I discuss, I appreciate the feedback on this one. Just so the public is aware, there's some upcoming workshops that are out of state. Typically, we do not send a board member out of state. However, I feel that the value of this workshop is quite extensive, but because it is an ongoing topic, I feel that there will be some more workshops coming. So I don't think that opportunity is missed, and I will use my opportunity to go to any that are in-state and more reasonable for the budgeting from this committee. So I hope that that is an okay thing.
If I may, Mr. President, Amber, I did see that there was one coming up this summer actually locally, so that may be of interest.
Yeah, and I was hoping to go to that if I'm not already in conflict. I'm out of town a lot with the summer schedule. This one I was able to attend, but again, I understand the conflict with finance. So I will be working on going to some more that are local. So I thank you for your support and letting me continue my education in that way.
Let's see, next item would be hearing of the public. There's no takers on that, so let's see, next would be reports. Any board announcements?
If I could, please, I know that the prom committee is still seeking donations in small amount for gift cards of $10 to give to the students for the after prom committee. I think they also need volunteers. I think that's it, but if you're willing and able, please contact one of the after prom committee hosts or volunteers. I'm sure they would appreciate it, and I know our kids certainly look forward to that event.
And on that note, I did speak with one of the people who are chairing that. They raised over $7,000 so far on that committee. So I really want to acknowledge the work that has gone into making our after prom a really fun and enjoyable and safe event for our kids. So thank you very much to the prom committee who's doing such good work.
I would like to acknowledge that was really started by parents who wanted to get involved, and I think parents make all the difference.
Oh yeah, it was one of our softball kids' moms that I talked about, and we were talking about how great the softball team was doing, so keep up the good work for them too. So.
Let's see, next would be superintendent's report.
Thank you, Mr. President and the board. We have wonderful news to share. Construction at the middle school is coming along in the east wing. Portions of the third floor in the east wing are approved for occupancy, which allows us to move folks out of one area so that we can work on that area. So presently, we are moving the orchestra department so that additional work can move forward in the main part of the building. So just visit our website to see photos of the progress. We are preparing for construction at Sharpsburg Primary and Elementary this summer, and we just met with that construction team this week. So we are moving forward on that. The annual Fine Arts Festival, which was held last Sunday, April 14th, was extraordinarily well attended, and our student artwork and musical groups were represented very well, as they always are. But Norwood has a long history of honoring all the ways that we are developing our students into high-achieving humans, thereby focusing on the arts. And I'm just so proud that Norwood holds high the arts and keeps that a priority. So special thanks to our art teachers district-wide, and under the leadership of Mrs. Stacy, as well as our music teachers. So we look forward to next year. And lastly, graduation. It will be held on May 14th at 7:30 in the Centos Center on the campus of Xavier University. Our graduates are welcome to invite as many family and friends as they like to celebrate with them. The class of 2019 will be conducting a walk of fame by visiting their elementary building after graduation practice. This is a new event this year. And the class of 1969 will be shaking the hands of our graduates prior to them making their way onto the graduation floor. We wish all of our graduates the best of success. I'll end by saying love and honor.
All right. Let's see, next would be the Great Oaks report.
Thank you, Mr. President. So last Saturday, Live Oaks hosted about 375 different attendees for their Super Service Saturday event. And that's a community cleanup driven event to say thank you for the community work and efforts and support that they get at Live Oaks. Last Monday, we had the Ohio Representative Bridget Kelly come and visit Scarlet Oaks campus. She was able to tour and speak with staff and students and test out the new Z-Space software that we're using, which is really cool. We got to do a little introduction to that as well, which is 3D type software that you can manipulate through glasses and interact with tools, and it gives you everything from biology to mechanics. Really goes in depth for a lot of the classwork that they're doing. On Tuesday, Brad Winstrup, also another U.S. representative, came down for a roundtable discussion with several of our higher up administrators at Great Oaks to work on figuring out current challenges facing the bridge between our workforce needs and our education system, and how we can make that pathway so much easier for our students to go into. As with graduation, the day before, on May 13th at 7 p.m. is the Scarlet Oaks graduation. That'll be held at the Tri-County Assembly of God Church on Route 4. Scarlet is currently the only building that houses any Norwood student, so that would be the one that would be most effective for ours. But if you have any other family at other districts, we do have graduations at each evening for each separate event at those locations. There's also a signing day, which is really exciting for our seniors. A lot of our seniors receive their first positions in a career field while they're still in school, and we will be celebrating the signing day ceremony at each campus. The parents and classmates will be in attendance, and for Scarlet Oaks, that'll be held on May 9th at 9 a.m., and they'll be signing on with their companies. And finally, just like how we are doing, Laurel Oaks is currently doing massive construction, and they are getting ready to go into the advertising for bids for phase 1. And they are in the same mindset of looking for a safe, secure campus with new walkways, new parking, renovations to their older buildings, new lab space, and cafeteria space. So not only do I get to look at it here, I get to look at it there and watch everything grow together. So I'm really excited. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Let's see, next item would be Avenues for Success.
I did not receive an Avenues for Success report for this month,
Okay.
nor do I have a legislative report. So we can
All right.
do that.
I do know that they have their GLOW event still coming up in May.
Yes, Glow for the Cure.
Yeah, the GLOW for the Cure event.
All right, let's see, next item would be for a notification for meetings. Let's see, our next committee meeting will be Tuesday, May 7th at the board office, 2132 Williams Avenue at 5:30. And then the regular board meeting will be Tuesday, May 16th at the Norwood High School mini auditorium at 6 o'clock. I'd like to make a motion for approval of those dates.
I will second.
Mr. Bryant?
Yes.
Ms. Stratford?
Yes.
Ms. Ballard?
Yes.
Mrs. Warza?
Yes.
Let's see, next item would be going into a executive session, so in accordance with ORC 121.22G1, the appointment, employment, dismissal, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or officer, or investigation of charges of complaint against a public employee, officer, licensee, or regulated individual. The next item would be in accordance with ORC 121.22G4, preparing for, conducting, or reviewing negotiations or bargaining sessions with public employees considering their compensation. And in accordance with ORC 121.22G5, matters regarding to be kept confidential by federal law or regulation or state statute.
Also in accordance with ORC 121.22G8, to consider confidential information related to negotiations with other political subdivisions respecting requests for economic development assistance. Also in accordance with ORC 121.22G81, the information is directly related to a request for economic development assistance that is to be provided or administered under the statuses set forth in RC 121.22G81, or involves public infrastructure improvements or the extent of utility services that are directly related to an economic development project.
So it is 7:08 and we are in executive session.